Leadership is defined as the action of leading a group of people or an organization. Now, there's two things that I want you to note in this definition of leadership. The first thing that I need you to note is that it is an action. It is something that you do. Leadership is not something that you earn or something that is given. It is something that you do. The second thing that I want to share with you about that definition or extract from that definition of leadership is that it says nothing about managing or having a title. You notice that? In the definition of leadership, it doesn't say the action of receiving a title of manager in order to manage people. It's not what it says. It is something that you do and has absolutely nothing to do with the title. You see, leaders lead from where they are. Whether you have people that work for you or you have people that work around you, whether you're leading from the home as a mother or a father that stays home, maybe you're leading as a teacher in your organization, maybe you're leading your group of friends in a Bible study. However it is that you lead, it is an action. It is an action, something that you do, and it has absolutely nothing to do with your title. So when we talk about leadership today, I want to make sure that everyone is engaged. I want to make sure that no matter where you are, you understand that you have the opportunity to lead from exactly where you are. And I'm going to give you five things today that are going to come at you. As a leader, you're going to have to learn. You're gonna take some hits, right? You're gonna take some hits along the way, and I want to teach you how to plow through those hits. Not to allow those hits to slow you down or to knock you back, but to be able to plow through so that you continue moving forward. The first hit that you're going to take as a leader, the very first hit that you're gonna take, not necessarily very first, but as a leader, you're going to experience something called I call it UNSS. Okay, UNSS, and this stands for unexpected no-show syndrome. Okay, unexpected no-show syndrome. This is where you're losing employees and you don't necessarily know why. The company might be doing well, or your business or your club or your organization might be doing well, but for some reason you're losing people. There's people that they're not showing up, or maybe they're showing up consistently late, or they're consistently calling in sick. I call this unexpected no-show syndrome. And I want to tell you, when you take this hit as a leader, which we all do, when you take this hit as a leader, the very first thing that I need you to know and understand and to do, the very first action that you take, right? This is something that you do. The very first action that I need you to take is don't blame them, blame you. Don't blame them, blame you. You see, if your people are showing up late, showing up sick, or not showing up, that means ultimately you're not giving them a reason to show up. I want to give you a perfect example. You don't ever see kids calling in sick for Christmas, do you? When's the last time your kid was like, you know what, I think I'm going to miss Christmas morning this year. I'm just not quite feeling it. I'm feeling a little tired or a little under the weather. It doesn't happen, right? It doesn't happen. You see, when people start calling in sick or people start showing up a little bit late, it's because you haven't given them a reason to show up. They don't enjoy what they do. You haven't given them purpose. You haven't set the tone at the beginning of the day. When I was at Dan Cummins, I worked with this guy, Josh Cummins. This is him this past Saturday. This past Saturday, they had a great morning meeting. I got to see some of the videos of it, and they had a race, and they had little bicycles and little tricycles, and they put on little costumes, and he's got a GoPro strapped to his chest, and they raced around in the conference room to see who could win, and there was wrecks and people falling over and people laughing and so on and so forth, and they just were having a lot of fun on Saturday morning as they got to launch this incredible day. Of course, later in the day, I saw pictures of packed showrooms, and they sold tons of cars. And congratulations, Josh Cummins. His Georgetown store just sold 200 cars yesterday, a store he just bought a couple months ago that was doing like 30 cars. So congratulations on that. But it was a reminder to me of how much fun, how much I used to look forward to going to work every day. I couldn't wait to get there because we had a structure. We had a morning meeting. I knew he was going to give me value, or I was going to give my people value. My people knew they were going to get value, and we were going to have some fun. We didn't have to deal with the unexpected no-show syndrome. It didn't happen because everyone enjoyed going to work. So first thing I want to teach you today, as a leader, you're going to take these hits. The unexpected no-show syndrome is going to happen. And when it does, don't blame them, blame you. The second thing that I want to make sure that you understand, the second thing that you're going to run into is that people don't respect you. As you become a leader, you're becoming a better leader, you're moving up, you're getting promotions, so on and so forth. At some point, you're going to take this hit where people just don't respect you. They won't move for you. They won't listen to you. They won't respond. And it's like no matter what you try, I mean, you're thinking what's best for the company. You're trying to make moves that are going to move the company forward. You're doing all of these things, but you can't get the respect from your people. And you just don't understand why. It happens to all of us as leaders. It will happen to you as a leader. There will be people in your organization that do not respect you. And I also call this, as a side note, I call this DBTN. DBTN. And what that stands for is they don't believe the name tag. They don't believe the name tag. The name tag says right there, you're the sales manager. You're supposed to be the leader, but they don't believe it. They don't have respect for you yet. If you're dealing with this, the problem is that you have yet to serve in a very specific way. You have yet to serve them as a very specific individual. When you're taking this hit, in order to plow through, you are going to have to serve that individual person in a very specific way. Not serve the team, not serve the store. You have to serve them. You must work towards serving them in a very specific way. You see, I had a leader in my organization a while back that I respected. And one of the reasons I had a lot of respect for this leader is that he had actually gone through and found out what everybody's favorite candy was. He figured out everybody's individual favorite candy. Some people liked chocolates, and some people liked Skittles, and some people liked all these different things. But he went through and he figured out what everybody's specific favorite candy was. And about once a week or so, he would just show up at the dealership with this big old bag of candy, and he'd be like, hey, I know you like Gobstoppers, here you go. I know you like Nerds, here you go. I know you like Snickers, here you go, right? And he'd hand everybody their very specific favorite treat. We all respected him as a leader. Reason being was he had made us feel like he was serving us individually. And as by doing so, we came together better as a team, and we were better able to achieve and organize and move the needle of the store. As a leader, if you run into this hit where people don't respect you, it's because you have yet to serve them as an individual. Doesn't matter how many cards you sold. It doesn't matter how amazing you were in your role. It doesn't matter that you got this new promotion. It doesn't matter what your name tag says. None of that stuff matters. How will you serve me? Specifically, Glenn Lundy. Figure that out, and you can plow right through. This is going to be, I I know this is going to be good for you. I hope you're taking notes because I know this is going to be good for you. The third hit that you're going to take as a leader at any time, third hit that you're going to take, it's guaranteed it's going to happen at some point. Your people are going to go flatline on you. Your people are going to go flat. They're just going to reach this point. They're going to come in and they're going to be all excited at first. And they're going to be like, oh, great. And they're going to perform at a certain level and so on and so forth. And then at some point along the way, they're going to go flat. You're not going to be able to get anything extra out of them. They've just gotten comfortable. They've been with you for years. You can't get them to move. You're like, dude, you've been doing the same thing for 14 years. How can I get you to perform at a higher level? How can I get you to learn something new? So you're going to run into people that are going to flatline. Now, when you run into this, there's only one way to really solve this. There's only one solution as a leader for you to be able to plow through this situation, and that is that you must raise the standard of average in your organization, your club, your group, or whatever. You see, we talked about this a couple weeks ago. It is not safe for someone to stand out. That's not safe. What's safe is to stay right here. Stay where it's comfortable. Stay in the pack. Stay where it's average. Anytime you pop out of that, you try to take the lead. Maybe you go around and you wear a gold hex tie when nobody else is wearing a tie. Anytime you do that, you're setting yourself up to be a target, right? It's a dangerous position. Lions that lead the pack have the shortest lifespans. Elephants, even though they're large, they stay in the herd. And so in order for you as a leader to get somebody off of this flat line is what you can do. You're not going to get that specific person to perform at a higher level. We have to raise the standard of average for your organization altogether. Now, that's going to require you to look at different things like pay plans and your expectations and what you feel is allowable. And at some point, you're going to have to draw a line. You're going to have to draw a line and say, as an organization, this is the new standard. And anyone that doesn't fall within this, we either need to train them more properly or figure out something else. I'm going to give you an idea of what this looks like when you do it right. See, when you do this right, it's just like Bill Belichick and the New England Patriots. See, he has such a standard. The expectations that they have for their organization, the standard of average for that place is that we perform at the highest level on the field and off the field. We win. We are winners. We are champions. We go to Super Bowls. It doesn't matter how many games we win throughout the season. It doesn't matter what the name is on the back of your jersey. You are a part of an organization that is going to perform at a certain standard all the time. So when somebody new comes into that organization, they know what that standard of excellence is, and they live to it. If they don't, they are removed. No matter who you are, no matter what your contract, no matter what, this is the standard. As a leader, you're going to, if you have employees or a part of your group or your organization, it's flat, it's stale, you are going to have to at some point raise the standard of average. And it's going to be difficult. People are going to buck. But ultimately, you have to know that you have their best interest in mind. When people are winning and performing, their lives are just naturally better. When people are flat and uncomfortable and not growing, that's when we fall into deep, dark places with depression and other things like that, right? Lifespans are shortened. So that's number 3. When your people are flat, in order to plow through that, raise your standard of average. Number 4, the fourth thing that you're going to run into as a leader, you're going to take this hit and you got to be able to plow right through, is at some point you're going to become, you yourself are going to become paralyzed. You'll be paralyzed with things like stress. You're going to be paralyzed with things like anxiety. You're going to start to feel the weight of leading. You're going to feel the responsibility of others. People are going to drop everything on you. And at some point, you'll get just completely paralyzed as a leader. You're just froze. You're just like, oh my gosh, I'm overwhelmed. I can't. It's too much, right? And so in order to break through that, in order to plow through that paralyzation so you can continue to lead at the highest level, is you're going to have to allow others to take the lead sometimes so that you can get some rest. All right, I'm going to give you an example. This is our backyard here. We've got the pond. That's Meredith, and there's hundreds of geese that hang out in our backyard now around the pond. It's beautiful. We absolutely love it. And you guys all know that the geese fly in a formation. They fly in a V formation so they can cut through, so that they can perform better, so that they can fly further. And what these geese do is the goose that's up front will lead the pack for a while, but then he'll drop back to the back and let someone else lead so that he can get some rest, so that she can get some rest. As a leader, what you need to do to keep from getting paralyzed and overwhelmed is you have to give other people in your organization the opportunity to lead. Take a step back. It'll do two things. One, you'll empower that person and help make them a better leader. Two, you now get the rest that you need to be able to recover your mental muscles so that you can go out there and be the absolute best leader that you can be. There are too many people who try to lead organizations by doing everything, always being in charge and always being up front. And I'm just here to tell you, you're going to run yourself into the ground. We don't want that. All right? Allow others to take the lead at times so that you can recover. The fifth and final thing that you're going to run into, all right, you'll probably run into other things, but for today's list, the fifth and final thing that you're going to run into as a leader, that you're going to be able to, that you're going to need to plow through, I call this one going through the big D. Right? Going through the big D, and I don't mean Dallas. And what I mean by this is you're going to have employees with life issues. Like you're going to have real life stuff that your employees or your organization, your group members, you're going to have people that are going through real life stuff, and they're going to bring that stuff to you. And so I want to encourage you when that happens, because sometimes that can get really overwhelming, right? Sometimes you're like, I just want to leave your personal stuff at home and work at work, right? That's what they say. Drop your personal stuff off at the door. Well, it's kind of hard to drop going through a divorce off at the door. For real. It is. It is, right? We're human. These things affect us. So when you tell me to just leave it at the door, I tell you I want to punch you in the face. That's kind of how we feel about it, right? This stuff matters to me, so I need it to matter to you. So when you run into this, when you have employees that have stuff, I need you to follow a simple process. I teach it to my 800% club members. I teach it everywhere I go. It's a simple process called LEAD. Okay? When your people come to you, I want you to do these four things. I want you to lead. I want you to listen, encourage, advise, and develop. And you must do it in this order. All right, 2 ears, 1 mouth. So first we listen. What is the problem? What's going on? Compassion and understanding. Then we follow that up with encouragement. Hey, I understand what you're going through. The good news is you have this, right? We try to shift that attitude from negative to positive. You have this going for you. You're great in this way. I'm so proud of you for this, right? We encourage. Now, once we've listened and we've encouraged, now we've earned the right as a leader to advise. See, if you go right in off the back, well, you know what you should do is you should tell your husband to just kick it to the curb, right? Like if you just go in before you listen, before you encourage, if you're just straight with advice, well, you just need to leave it at the stinking door and just come in here and do your job. Before you come in with the advice, listen, encourage. Now you've earned the right to give advice. As a leader, you have to earn that. Now we can give them advice. We can advise them on directions that they might want to go. We can advise them with things about work or so on and so forth, whatever it is that they're going through, their personal issue, advise them on how to handle their finances, whatever it is. We can now advise at that point, and then we have to develop. See, if you're going to tell somebody what to do, you better be willing to help them do it. If you're going to tell somebody they need to do this, it's the best thing for them, you better be able to teach them and show them and give them the resources they need to be able to accomplish that. Otherwise, it just falls on deaf ears. You know, tell me to go, you know, what you need to do is you need to go buy a house. That's what you need to do. You need to go buy a house, quit renting. Okay, great. How do I buy a house? Never bought a house before. I'm 22 years old. I'm working in your organization. I'm selling cars, right? Help me, develop me, make me better. So when you run into this, when you run into people going through the big D, and I don't mean Dallas and I don't mean divorce either, just life issues, make sure that you take the lead. Listen, encourage, advise, and develop. Listen, my friends, as leaders, as leaders that I know that you all are, I mean, you're leading, you're waking up before everybody else on the planet, so you're taking the lead on that. These decisions that you're making, these things that you do as a child of God, uniquely made by the God of the universe, it makes an impact. It really does. It makes an impact in people's lives. It matters. It matters. It matters to your friends, your family members, especially your coworkers. The better leader you are, from whatever position you're in, the bigger impact it has on the people around you. So I want you to take these notes and take them seriously, all right? Take these notes, take them seriously, and apply them out there today, because it's really going to make a difference. And I promise you, someone will love you for it. Listen. Do me a favor, go out there, have an incredible day today. If you didn't catch the Grant Cardone interview, I need you to go do that, because you're going to love it. If you haven't had an opportunity to donate to the Brandon Stanhope family, I really would appreciate it if you'd hop on over to that GoFundMe right now. But most importantly, will you do me a huge favor? Huge. Will you come back here again tomorrow morning at 5:30 a.m.? Because we're going to do this all over again on #Rise and Grind. See ya.